Hi everyone, my name is Tanvi, incoming senior at UMass Amherst. I'm studying computer science and I'm in India at the moment. And thank you to Aaigen for giving me the opportunity and guiding me throughout the process. So in my eighth grade, I've been involved with the research in a school that I was previously studying in. And then in my ninth grade, I transferred to FITZI. That was where Venkat sir at the moment was having this program. And I've always been into research and things are changing everywhere. But at the time, which was like 7 to 8 years ago, right? US had a lot more research development than the universities here. So I always wanted to pursue that field, which was why I was more inclined on going to the US, one for the research and two for the flexibility of choosing what I do. So I started my preparation in ninth grade with Venkat sir. I've been taking advanced placements since my ninth, and then have taken SATs and IELTS after that in my 11th and 12th with Venkat sir again. The journey was very smooth for say because I think we did have the resources from different faculty that were willing to help at any given point of time. They were knowledgeable in their areas of teaching, and Venkat sir had a very good overview of how the process would be and what the next steps were supposed to be taken for every one of us. For me, it felt like my journey was very personalized. uh, every student has a different situation, but Venkat sir was ready to cater individually, and he was personalizing it for every situation very well. It was very smooth. It was very mentoring. He was always there to motivate when things weren't going straight, but at the same time, tell you where you're at the moment. And the teachers that were teaching their subjects had a lot of knowledge in what they were doing, and the counseling when we were going through the visa process and everything was also very useful. I got into a bunch of different schools, but the school that I committed to is University of Massachusetts. For me, I got into other colleges. I got into University of British Columbia. I got into University of Bristol. I got into University of Birmingham. But for me, I delayed my application process for the US because I was very keen on going to the UK, and I got into University of Bristol. And Venkat sir really wanted me to go to University of Bristol, but personally, it's more like a family situation. My parents didn't have too many relatives in the UK, so they were more inclined on sending me to the US. And I got into University of Wisconsin-Madison and University of Massachusetts in the US. And I also got to a bunch of other universities, which were giving me a very good scholarship. But the reason why I chose University of Massachusetts Amherst, I got into the Amherst one, which is a flagship of the University of Massachusetts system, is because it had a very good computer science school. At the time that I was giving my tests or preparing for the universities, the ones that I wanted to take were SAT and obviously IELTS, which are mandatory for everyone. But the other exams that I also took were advanced placements, APs. I also wanted to take SAT subjects, but I was in the COVID
Oh,
thing.
okay.
In my 12th, it was 2020 and 2021. So I was not able to take SAT subjects, but SAT subjects, APs, advanced placements, and IELTS, SATs are what are usually recommended for
Mm.
people that are trying to go for their education abroad for undergrad. But sir, since I joined from my ninth grade, which many people don't, most of them start from their 11th and 12th. We had enough time to prepare for a lot more APs. So in my ninth and 10th, I was primarily focusing on something called pre-SAT, which is basically an exam that you take before the SAT, just to know your knowledge and to apply for any summer schools. At the time, I was also planning on applying to summer schools in the US and the UK. So as Yeah, Venkat sir helped me prepare for pre-SAT. He was teaching math, and then he also helped me find resources. He also had teachers that were teaching pre-SAT for English. So I was able to take pre-SAT with him. He laid me out a guideline on what are the subjects that I can write my APs in, because writing calculus, basic physics, and chemistry as a ninth grader is really hard. So, but at the same time, he also didn't want to waste the time that I joined. So I was other subjects such as psychology, US history, literature, and environmental science actually. Yeah, that was one of them. So I was writing my APs in my ninth and 10th, which I was able to get credits for in college actually. So while going in to University of Massachusetts, I already had 12 or 16 credits, which I was really thankful for because of these APs. And in 12, and I also started preparing for my SATs in uh, during the last couple of months in my 10th and in my 11th, and I gave my SAT in my 11th. He was really helpful for that. Uh, yeah, he gave us so many mock tests to prepare for every class. Any doubt we had in mathematics, he was always there. The teachers that were teaching English were also really helpful. The textbooks and the resources that he recommended, they were actually one of the best that were out there in the market. He also made us speak to many other counselors and university representatives from the colleges so we could ask any personal questions that we had. We also had a lot of network because many students before us, our seniors, graduated in the same program. So we were able to have a lot more people to talk to who were living there and who were going through the education that is provided in the universities. So yeah, the network, the resources, the mentoring, the alumni network, and how smoothly he made us go through things. Yeah, it made a lot of difference when I was preparing for colleges. I remember personally for every student's Common App essay, which is what we apply to for the colleges, the Common App essay. Venkat sir was going through each and every line, peer reviewing it, giving us any feedbacks. At the same time, he also made us in like group partners where each of us would review our essays. He was also suggesting what universities I can apply to based on my criteria and my scores and my interests. He was recommending me the majors, and he was personally dealing with my applications for the UK. Even when I was in the midst of selecting colleges and committing to one, he gave me the pros and cons of everything. He suggested what I could do and what I cannot. And his inputs were very helpful because they gave me a whole new perspective from someone that was way more experienced and kind of an expert in his field, which helped me choose my right college. And for the visa process, he trained us on how to do the questions and what documents are needed, how we should go through the process and everything. They debriefed it to us. And with the help of his coaching for a little while, I was able to crack my visa interview. And also after that, he trained us in the computer languages because the Indian education system in the high school usually doesn't teach you programming languages. And he understood from his previous students that it is very important. So, which is why for our batch, he started training us also on these computer programming languages. So, yeah, his mentorship wasn't just exclusive to education, but every other process that involved us going to the US, he was always there to help us. I think personally for me, how personalized it is to each and every student and how much attention they pay to every single one of their students, irrespective of how many people are there. They give their 100% attention to every single one of them and do their best and give their best to every student that there is, I think makes a huge difference. Yeah, and I absolutely do, which also did recommend some of my juniors whom I know from school to go there, which they did end up going. And yeah, I wouldn't be going to University of Massachusetts if it wasn't for Aaigen. So I definitely would and will recommend it to my juniors. I received a bunch of scholarships from many different universities, but the college that I committed to is University of Massachusetts, and they provided me with a scholarship of $64,000. Throughout my education, they provided me with $64,000 in scholarship. And Venkat sir was keen on letting me apply to different scholarships throughout the universities. And but the way that I received my college's scholarship was on merit basis. They looked at my scores and they fixed an amount of scholarship for me. But yeah, it was through his guidance and his mentorship that I was able to achieve the things that I did.